What's shaking? My name's Cam, welcome back to another video. I wanted to do something pretty chill and fun today. So I cracked a brewski and I watched the dog eat my housemate's plants. And then I thought to myself, I better film a video, I guess. So here we are. Would You Rather, one of the funnest games that you can play on a road trip with the boys or in a Discord chat. And now I'm bringing it to you. Would You Rather Fantasy Edition. I've come up with a few wacky hypotheticals. I'm gonna flop them out for you, and then I'm gonna let you know what I would choose and why. And the fun part is that you get to join in with this as well. I want you to run to the comments and give me your answer for each of these hypotheticals. Feel free to tell me how wrong I am about my choices. Go nuts. Hypothetical 1, I give you a sword and a shield. Would you rather fight a Trolloc from the Wheel of Time, a Direwolf from Game of Thrones, an Uruk from Lord of the Rings, or a swarm, let's say 5 drowners from The Witcher? Now I know for a fact that in real life I would be getting clapped raw by literally any one of these options, so you don't need to point that out to me. But for the sake of the question, I will tell you who I'll rule out of this first. Trolloc, gone. They're like 10 feet tall and they have sharp horns and they're swole as hell. Not a chance. Uruk, pretty much the exact same thing. They're bred for combat. I just don't see myself lasting a full minute against any one of these chads. Now between a direwolf and a swarm of drowners, it's interesting. I don't think either of these picks have the advantage of like sentience or intelligence. I mean, like they can't really pick up tools or weapons or use battle strategy. In theory, they're just gonna come at you and try to kill you. That's it. Personally, I think I'm going to take my chances with the drowners. Don't get me wrong, I think it would be extremely dangerous to have 5 of these things coming down on you, but I am going to go with the drowners because I play fight with my German Shepherd all the time, and I just know if she was as big as a horse, I would be dog food in like half a minute. Easy. Hypothetical 2. A genie pops up in your bedroom, shakes you awake in the middle of the night and says, "Hey dude, I'm going to give you a new magical ability, a new set of magic powers, but you can only choose from these 4. Do you take the abilities of a wizard, wand included, wizards from the Harry Potter universe? Do you take the abilities of a Jedi, lightsaber included? Do you take wind running from the Stormlight Archive, meaning you can manipulate gravity, you can use it to fly or run super fast or stick things to walls if that's what you're into? Or you get the ability to command your own dragon, and the dragon is included." So like most people, I'm sure, I'm tempted to take the dragon because there's no denying it. It would just look really cool. That's pretty much it. I just think it would look cool. There's not a whole lot of practical use. Like, I can't imagine many situations where you're going to need it to spew fire onto anything. You could have the dragon fly you places, but I would also imagine that the government wouldn't really be cool with that. I feel like they would try to regulate that in some way. Also, there's only one dragon, and someone could kill it. I'm not saying it would be easy, but if there was a dragon in real life, I'm sure someone out there would be tempted to say that they've slayed a dragon. So people would be trying, right? And eventually someone's going to succeed. Feel free to flame me in the comments, but I am not really a Star Wars guy. I just never really got into it. I don't hate it, but it's not my thing. So I genuinely don't care a whole lot about the idea of being a Jedi. I mean, opposed to the other stuff here. If it was just the choice of being normal me or a Jedi, obviously I'm gonna take that. But against these other options, nah. I was stuck for a bit between wind running and the Harry Potter magic. Waving a wand around is pretty cringe, and everyone on TikTok is already making fun of millennials for that.
You guys know what genre of music sucks? Swag rock.
I'm sure even if I could do literal magic, they would still make videos teasing me, and fair enough, to be honest. It does look a little bit goofy, you know? Wind running is cool as hell, very cool, but having to recharge all the time with Stormlight, and assuming in this scenario I have access to a source of Stormlight, it would be a huge pain, you know? I think I'm gonna go with the wand. Unfortunately, I'm sad to admit I'm gonna go with the Harry Potter wand. I'll get clowned, but whatever. I think the main reason I would choose the Harry Potter magic is that you can do almost anything with that magic, really. You have access to a lot of spells that do a lot of different stuff, as opposed to these other options which kind of put you in a box. Hypothetical 3, a Dark Lord comes to Earth and says that they're going to destroy everything unless you marry one of their kids. You have two choices. One is a grave hag, and the other is a giant spider. They aren't going to like end your life or anything like that. For all intents and purposes, they are the monsters that they are, but you're marrying them, they love you, they want to keep you safe. But also you do have to spend a lot of time with them. You have to go to dinners, you have to introduce them to your parents, you have to share a bed with them, all of the marriage stuff. A lot of people might jump straight to the grave hag, being that she's the humanoid option. But let me paint you a picture. You wake up in the middle of the night and you see this absolute specimen stripping off their loincloth at the foot of your bed, rubbing up on itself, getting a bit hot and heavy. Picture that. Now, a giant spider on the surface might seem scary, but I would argue that spiders being small bugs that can kind of creep around and get into hidden places is one of the major things that makes them creepy to people. I feel like maybe they would be a less creepy if they were giant and if you had the knowledge that they aren't going to hurt you, which, jokes aside, most spiders don't want to hurt you, they want to get away from you. I don't know, maybe it's just the Australian in me, but I'm picturing myself riding it through peak hour traffic and that's kind of cool. Hypothetical 4, it's another fight. This time you have to go blade the blade with one of these 4 swordsmen. Aragorn, Geralt, Brienne of Tarth, or Book 1 Lan. I'm saying Book 1 because I've been told that he gets like cosmically powerful as the story goes on. So let's just say Book 1 Lan from the Wheel of Time. No armor and no magic allowed. Okay, so all of these characters are established as being top tier at what they do. Geralt and Brienne do kind of terrify me simply because of the sheer brutal strength that they would have behind every blow. I feel like one swing and clash of swords and I would get knocked on my ass. But then on the flip side of that, Aragorn and Lan are just insanely skilled. I mean, Brienne and Geralt are as well, of course, but I would argue that Aragorn and Lan are more skilled swordsmen. It is a really hard pick. Obviously, I wouldn't stand a chance against any one of these 4, but I think I would have to go with Lan. And hear me out here. I'm not saying that Lan is the worst fighter out of these 4. I think my only chance, my only opportunity for an advantage would be getting in their head, and I feel like Lan would be the easiest to do that with. Maybe I could just hit him with the, oh dude, isn't that Moraine over there? Oh damn, she's getting shanked by a Trolloc. And then when he turns around to check, I get a cheeky shot in. I don't know, man. It's like lose-lose for me either way. Bonus question, out of these 4 swordsmen, who do you think would win in a fight? I brought this up on TikTok ages ago, and it made for some pretty interesting debates. So yeah, who do you think would win in a fight out of these 4? Hypothetical 5, you get reborn tomorrow. You get to pick the world that you go to, but you don't get to choose the time period or the race that you are born as. Middle-earth, Westeros from Game of Thrones, Roshar from Stormlight Archive, or Wonderland from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Okay, so I think the first one that most people would knock out of this race is Westeros. It seems like a poor choice no matter how you spin it. Unless you're super lucky and you're born as like a Targaryen or something, you're probably well out of luck. It's unlikely for the most part that you're gonna live past 30, and everyone who does immediately looks 50 or 60. Everything and everyone wants you buried or worse. Wonderland? I'm gonna say no way. Wonderland is probably the physically safest pick out of these options, but to be honest, I wouldn't want to spend every minute of my life feeling like I'm tripping on something from like a 70s era high school bender. It also kind of feels like it would just be impossible to get a straight answer out of literally anyone in that world. You would ask someone for directions and then get a 2-page limerick about a gopher playing hopscotch with a worm or something like that. I don't know. It would really annoy me. Middle-earth seems like a really obvious choice, but I want to remind you of a very important factor here. You don't get to choose when or who you are born as. You could be born as an orc during the height of war, for all you know. But you could also be born as like a wizard or an ent. Being an ent would be pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Middle-earth. Roshar makes for a really great story, but it would be a pretty miserable place to live in my opinion. I love a good thunderstorm, but not one that's gonna tear me limb from limb. And that's assuming that you don't just pop out as a literal crab. Chances are you're gonna end up in a barren desert. And to be honest, mate, if that's what you're after, just move to Central Australia. So there you go. Just a fun little would you rather for today. Now it's time for you to let me know what you picked. I'm not really sure when you're gonna be watching this, but it's my birthday in a couple of days. I am turning 16. I want to ask you to tell me how old you think I'm turning, but I don't know if my confidence can take that. Anyway, thanks for watching, especially for watching through the whole video. You are my favorite. I make videos all the time on fantasy and horror books, so if that's your kind of thing, then stick around. I'd love to have you. That'll do it for today, but happy reading, and I'll see you in the next one. Catch ya.